Pisces.
Hello Pisces, Happy New Year 2015. I want to thank you all for having followed 2014, and I want to welcome all of you new viewers to follow us along here on a monthly basis as we look into your charts and the opportunities coming your way. Now, the big game changer here this year for you Pisces is Saturn now having completed its journey in the 9th house. You have been expanding, you've been researching, you've been teaching, mentoring, learning new skills, and you know what? Now, as Saturn has moved into your 10th house, top of your chart, you have what we could say a career breakthrough, which you haven't had for the last 28 years. So you've just completed that 28-year cycle. Now here we go. You are expanding upon giving out wisdom and knowledge. It's in the sign of Sagittarius, which is all about knowledge, higher truths, higher education, Saturn being the master of, so you're mastering now these skills that you have been researching. And the thing is, Saturn has just been in the 9th house, which was Sagittarian, but now moving into the sign of Sagittarius. So you still have some of that blend, right? But it's in the house of Capricorn. So now you're going to be really master building, structuring, expanding this area. And as with all planets shifting signs, you might feel that change, that something now is coming up and you may not know exactly what it is, where it's coming from, where it's going to go. It's like this little, I like to call it the sacred void before the wave, right? So, but you're going to come to see that there's going to be new responsibilities upon your shoulders. You're going to be carrying things differently. The world at large will come to see this because it is top of your chart, so it's a public area, and your peers will also come to see too that you're rising in here, this career field for you. And it's going to be exciting because now that Saturn is off your shoulders from where it was kind of intense because it was in the sign of Scorpio. So you were kind of working a little bit on the side, I feel, or internally, which Scorpio likes to do. But now you're taking that out. So it's a little vulnerable, but you're ready, Pisces, to do this. Saturn's all about mastery, mastering skills, talents, and so forth. So you've been waiting for this. Now, if you go back to 1985, 88, what happened through those years? Because those years, too, were years that you really came out and shone. So, lifting, rising, climbing, merging here, right? And not all will happen all at once. It's going to be basically for you born, you know, within the first couple of days of your sign, that's going to feel the brunt of Saturn right away. For the rest of you, this is going to spread out over 3 years until that of December 2017. All right, so those early Pisceans can always leave a comment and say what's going on in your life. Let the other Pisceans know so they may be and become prepared. But then also we have Mercury retrograde this month. We want to touch a little bit upon that. It's going to be January 21st through February the 11th. And Mercury is going to be in your 12th house when this takes place. So the 12th house for you is those things that you're working with behind the scenes. So you might be backtracking a little bit, some thoughts, ideas, ideals that you had earlier. Watch them as they come up from your subconsciousness to the conscious level so that you may grasp them. And you may not act on them right away, but it's good to put them down on your notepad because as you come into February 11th and Mercury starts picking up speed again, that would be the time that you're going to be implementing things. We have Jupiter, your ancient ruler, is also retrograde, as we spoke about last month, which she will be until April 9th. And for you here now, Pisces, it's all about you looking at your day-to-day routines. And I feel that for many of you Pisces, you've already felt it, especially those for first half of the sign, will feel that Jupiter is now being a little bit more giving and lenient, giving you more time. It's as if you've been so busy on your time schedules with everything that's, you know, been on your plate here for the last 2.5, 3 years. So suddenly now things are starting to open up. You early Pisces, I felt it for a while. Those of you born in the middle of the sign, you're starting to feel that release. It's really beautiful. And then it is those of you who are born towards the end of the sign that will start freeing up your schedules here when we get into spring and close to summer. So that's Jupiter retrograde, and just pay attention to perhaps I'd like to say previous opportunities that came to you that either didn't come into fruition, or maybe you didn't have time to take them on. Maybe you just put them aside for later. Those things can now rise between here of December 2014 and that of April 9th. Okay, so good opportunities can still show up. But let's take a look at what's happening here top of the month. Mars, your desire, your action, and your drive, you're kind of so ready now to shoot out towards 2015. However, though, Jupiter is still saying, hang on a moment. Now, your Mars is in that 12th house, and it's so creative. It's got a lot of things here to do. But Jupiter over here in that 6th house for your day-to-day schedules, it's more like, where do I divide my time? It's like Mars wants to do all that creative stuff that you've been dreaming about, and Jupiter is saying, not fully quite yet, it's coming. But look at this area. It's still wanting you to focus a little bit on your schedules to make sure that they're all shoring up, that you've got all your ducks in a row before you jet off, just so you know that Jupiter can continue to be generous with you as we proceed. January 4th, Venus, love and romance, but also your financial situation, is going to have its first run-in with Saturn in this new placement. So how's that going to work? Thank God we have a good, beautiful aspect. We got a sextile between Venus and Saturn. So they're going to work together real well. And Venus is still at this time in your 11th house. So, you know, it's something that I feel is coming from a group or a friend. Maybe something connected to your hopes and dreams is now going to unlock this door to Saturn up there in your career house. So you might get an offer, an opportunity, or have a talk where those things that you feel that you've been working towards now might, you know, reveal itself. And on the 13th, Venus once again is going to have a run-in, this time with Uranus, another lock opening up, which can be very magnetic, very energizing. Uranus will always do something in surprise events, and Uranus for you has to do with your money. Okay, it's your income house. So between the 4th and the 13th, watch how these are working together. That's Saturn in the career, Uranus in the income house, Venus is what you love and desire and have worked for. Well, hey, you got a great first 2 weeks of January, Pisces. And of course, not to mention that Mars now, that was so wanting to move ahead because you're feeling the energy and you are so intuitive, so you're feeling what's coming. Well, here on the 12th, it's moving out of that 12th house. Okay, so now it's crossing a horizon into your first house, powering up on a new 2-year journey. And you now already, you're aware of what is coming. You've had that good talk on the 4th with that opportunity. 13th, you know you're going to hear something or receive something here money-wise. And then Mars is already in your first house, so you're going to have your wings and fly. Now, I'm really excited here, Pisces, because it seems to be new, even though you've known of it, or about it, or even worked towards it. But here it is. It's in the physical realm. And so Mars is now on the 15th saying, okay, but now what do I do with it? You know, it's squaring up towards Saturn. You feel you have a mentor, a teacher, or somebody there that's monitoring you, but in a good way, wants your best, okay? So know that. But this little apprehension is, but can I really do it now that it's here? Yes, you can. You know, so give it your best. Just, you know, go for the dive in it. On the 19th, whatever you were feeling you wanted to push ahead with, now Venus is wanting to do the same thing. Venus here is on the cusp into your 12th house. So it wants to do all these creative things too, and Jupiter is still saying, make sure that you get your day-to-day routine and duties down, because there's so much more coming in. This is why Jupiter wanted to structure you here January 1st on your actions, because there's so much more coming in, and it's asking you to do the same here on the 19th. Make sure that you set up a routine that you can live with as you're receiving all these new impulses, making room for it to, just so it doesn't collide. That makes sense. So on the 20th, whatever you were apprehensive about there on the 15th, no longer. You're feeling that you're now swimming. You're doing the Piscean thing. You're swimming with the energy. Mars is in Pisces, and Mars in Pisces is extremely creative. It's artistic. It's ideal, or idealistic, should I say. Any male person around you at this time will also have this energy coming towards you, so you can work with that. And this conjunction here is in your first house. And you feel happy when Mars is out of your 12th. Not that it doesn't work there, because it does, because the 12th house is your powerhouse, you know, the house you rule. But you like it because when it's in the first house, you can act upon those visions that the 12th house have accumulated. So you're in the flow, you're getting a lot of great support. Venus now is also out of that 11th house that's been needing your attention, so you can continue to fill up on visions and dreams and projects. And on the 23rd, you're going to get some great feedback from whoever this mentor is, whether it's a supervisor, a boss, or some kind of leader, or just a good buddy that has a lot of faith in you, is going to give you feedback for whatever presentation you put out there on the 15th. More feedback coming in on the 28th, and I'm feeling this might be some news about money, or money's owed to you. Because it is Uranus now in that second house, getting news from Mercury retrograde. So maybe you should have had a bonus or something back then, some commission that didn't come about. Well, that might just now start moving along as well. And then we're ending off the month here on the 30th. And again, you're stepping out into those new waters of Saturn, like you did with Mars that tested you by square to Saturn. Now Venus is doing the same dip, squaring up towards Saturn. And that little apprehension is like, wow, can I really do this? Am I up for it? Can I take on that challenge? You know, then remember, if we think challenge, then we feel we're up against a ring, you know, the ring of Saturn. We're up against the wall, and we might feel those doubts because we might feel it as a barrier. However, turn it around in your mind and say, I'm not up against the rings as a challenge. I'm up against an opportunity that's going to allow me to grow, become, embody this new sphere of learning how to master these skills. And so tell yourself that when you're there on the 30th, because you'll come to see on this very same day that Mars and Pluto are right there, meaning your drive, your action, your goals are right there to be not just powered up by Pluto, but to be transformed by Pluto. So it's like new beginnings of this engine. And just imagine how much you've compiled, compressed into January with the new settings of Saturn, and already, boom, 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 received those very first tests. You're going to love it. It's going to be great. And for love and romance too, let's not forget that. Well, Venus on the 4th moving into Aquarius, which is your 12th house. Well, that's a very romantic place to be. It's like wanting to pull back and explore a little bit. You know, Aquarius loves to explore and experiment. But also just to be in the higher mind of, you know, Aquarius is the higher octave of Mercury, actually. So you might just find yourself using some time there with your artistic skills or writing your journals, that kind of thing, or anything that can go on behind, not saying hidden, you know, some astrologers like to say it's hidden aspects, but it's more private though. And Mars also moving into Pisces, your sign, on the 12th is also allowing that Mars to become a little bit more Neptunian Piscean, which is very romantic as well. So I feel it's going to be a good month for love and romance for you Pisces. So I wish you well, and thank you for watching. Thank you for liking and sharing. But before I let you go, this month, do go listen to your partner's chart. Know where his or her Saturn is going to be, because as you're changing, you're shifting now from that 9th house into the career field that's going to absorb you for the most part the next 3 years. You want to know what's going to start absorbing your partner, just so you can be supportive of him or her. And when you listen to your moon and rising sign too, you'll hear Saturn affecting other areas of your chart, so you will know also where those things, those keys are opening up for you. Okay? So have a good one, and I will see you next month.